Water signs, welcome to your full moon general guidance reading with me, Adrian. So you would know it every week. I put the readings out individually for all the different signs, but I've had quite a number of personal readings that came through. So what I'm going to do with this one is it's for same as I did for the air signs yesterday, and as I will do for the fire signs tomorrow, and for the earth sign today after that, is that I'm going to put it all in the one video, but then you've got the timestamps underneath. So you can go and check out, for your zodiac sign, your specific reading. You can, of course, if you want to, if you feel guided to, you can always watch the whole video and maybe see what you get there, because it's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Or you can just go to the timestamps in the description below, check the time for, when your reading starts, and then you can do it from there. All right. So just a quick general bit of input for you around this reading before I start is that this one is, of course, for the full moon, or, the next full moon, which is on May the 7th, 2020, and it's a full moon in Scorpio, okay, which started with a new moon in Taurus on the 22nd of April. Now, there's a couple of interesting names for this moon. I just want to make sure I remember them also. I wrote them down. Mother's moon, corn planting moon, milk moon. Interesting, really, with the, like, for example, back in the olden days, they used to call it the milk moon because they would, like, milk the cows 3 times a day. But also, it really kind of coincides with, I don't know if you know, something called the Farmer's Almanac, which is just really kind of like an almanac that people who plant basically follow. Like me, I grew up in the country, so it's a lot about people who like, you will normally see you've got like the calendar underneath. There's like another sort of moon phases, the Farmer's Almanac, which kind of lets you know when you plant whatever trees, vegetables and stuff kind of going upwards, and whatever goes down into the ground like beets and those sort of things. So very, very interesting. But with this new moon that started in Taurus on April the 22nd, Taurus being an earth sign, it's very much about returning to basics, what is working, kind of like reprioritizing, not meaning that the way that you've done things before was wrong, or maybe it could have even been something that served you really, really well. But now it's sort of really time to reevaluate things a little bit. All right, so that is really what the new moon. Obviously, new moons are new beginnings, so new foundations. What sort of foundations is being laid there for what sort of new things? And of course, at whatever point in time you look at this, will be the right time. It doesn't have to be only now, but you will generally find, if your heart is being guided to this reading, then you might have gone to a period where you were kind of thinking about things and saying to yourself, yeah, am I doing it the best way, or could it maybe be done in a bit of a different way? Can I tweak it a little bit? Okay. Also, Taurus is very much about, new moon in Taurus is about going inside, going within, asking those questions. Is everything really still working in the best way for me, myself, and I? All right. And of course, with water signs, you very much merged by the emotions. And at this particular point in time of me recording this reading, there's quite a lot of emotion going around in the world, so it can be really, really overwhelming for you. Okay, so let's see what we have. And then, of course, with the new moon, which is on May the 7th, 2020, new moons is when the energy is at its strongest, at its peak. Excellent manifestation period. So this is really, I would say, very valuable guidance for you also, for how do you get out of whatever it is that you might be experiencing in your personal capacity at the moment. How do you sort of get out of there and benefit optimally for your greatest good in life? Okay, right. So, of course, this is a general guidance reading. If you want to have a personal detailed reading, I'm sending you a 30-minute video. It's a downloadable video, $12 for the 12 US dollars, or if it's in South Africa, 150 rands. And I have been quite busy with readings. That is why I am doing these readings together for you guys. But happy to serve, happy to serve the world in all ways that serve you positively with love and light. I'm just busy drawing for you really some cards, some oracle cards for your readings, which we'll look at. And if it's your first time to the channel, I'd like to welcome you. Such a pleasure to have you. You are invited to, if it resonates with your heart, you are more than welcome to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell at the bottom right hand side so you know when the next reading comes up. There is a general guidance reading for every sign or for all the zodiacs every week. So if you'd appreciate some guidance, you're more than welcome to do that. I am also a Reiki master, crystal healer, angel healer, NLP Life practitioner, as well as a regression hypnosis practitioner. So I, from time to time, upload videos about that as well. And sometimes people ask me to do specific videos, and then I do that. So if you've got some questions, you're more than welcome to ask, and I would be happy to make a specific video about that. And if you're returning back, welcome back to the channel. So wonderful to have you here. Feel welcome to follow me on Facebook. I go there live quite often where I draw cards for individuals. Follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. All the links are down below. I put some motivational videos out there. I try to do it every day. And yeah, let's see what we got. So before we start, I'm just going to put this nicely because now they look all like a mess. Before we start, if I can just ask you to, if it's safe for you to relax, just take a nice moment, just take a nice deep breath in, into the heart space, release and step into space. Step into the unlimited and abundant potential of who you are. All right, I've got some of my spray here just to clear the air. This is rosemary, palo santo, and citrine crystals, which clear the air. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Some for you. There we go. And some for me. That's it. No more. Why not? Okay. Drinking my water throughout because my throat gets a bit dry sometimes, and I've got my unlimited potential crystal elixir in there, just like 6 to 8 drops. A bottle of water. Yummy, yummy, yum. All right, so we are going to do, I just want to make sure that I've got the sequence right. I wrote it down here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So you can look at the whole thing, or as I said, you can just check in the timestamps in the description below to see, you know, what the time is for your timestamp, and you go directly to that. All right, so let's start off with Cancer, which is actually my zodiac sign as well. All right, so I forgot to draw the tarot cards. All right, just gonna 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and overall energy of the reading. Okay. Cancer, 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 Cancer. All right. Overall energy of your reading, Cancer, is the Queen of Pentacles. All right. So I feel that a lot of you might have had some challenges there with some manifestation. Like you would maybe call it money, but it's not only money. It is on several different levels. You might have found yourself sort of running into walls, all right? Trying to get things done, not really happening, trying again and again, not really happening, getting very frustrated there, getting very demotivated there, feeling like just nothing is working out, okay? That period is now coming to an end, but I feel that a number of you, even though in your mind, in your logic, you know that that period has now come to an end, um, you sort of still very stuck there. Okay. Um, a little bit sort of in victim mode, you know, a little bit of poor me happening over there. Um, and of course, this is just the out right now. We're gonna of course clarify it. It's like a major part of you is experiencing difficulty in letting go, detaching. Um, if you really think about it, it's almost like you you might be almost kind of like conjuring up reasons in your mind to feel sorry for yourself. And I feel that some of you, it's for like for such a long time, you had to, in a sense, really be sort of the one there for yourself. You had to, or let's rather put it, for such a long period, it's almost like you felt that you had to be strong for such a long time. That now it has become such a sort of attachment pattern for you that even though it's healthy to detach from that pattern because it's no longer necessary, that you still sort of hold on to it in a sense. Not really because you want to, but it's more like a force of habit. Okay. Um, so it's not like you want to sit in the space and you know it's not like you want to feel like poor me, poor me, poor me. In fact, your heart has got quite a lot of desire to experience the full expression of life. It is just that it has become such a almost sort of norm for you that you don't really know how to get yourself out of that pattern. It's almost sort of like a rut, or rather that rut that's sort of like a pattern. Okay, the other way around. So the rut that's almost sort of like a pattern. It's difficult for you to get yourself out of there. And then a lot of things around you might actually be working out already on all, platforms of life. So that somebody, when they sort of look out, or they look from the outside, they look into your life, they will be like, but Cancer, things are really working for you. Things are really coming together for you. You are so fortunate. It's really like, wow, you're doing so well. But whilst you are inside the pattern, you might actually still be experiencing yourself sort of like almost drumming and fighting, against this wall that you need to get through without actually realizing that you are actually kind of past the wall in a sense. It's almost like here was the wall that you needed to get through, and the wall's just sort of kind of lowered out of your way, and you pass it, or you can be past it. And if you look back, you will see that it's not there anymore. But because you're such a beautiful emotional sign, of course, that you might be feeling so overwhelmed by everything that you needed to deal with. And interestingly enough, if I remember correctly, this was something that came up a little bit with Aquarius as well. So if you maybe want to look at the video for the air signs, for Aquarius, Aquarius is the last bit of the video though. So if you look at the timestamps there, maybe. But I did kind of pick it up with them as well there, that sometimes you could feel that you still need to be in that sort of, strong mode, when in fact it's more time to kind of probably sit around, sit back and relax a bit and enjoy the beauty that life has brought to you, regardless how it may seem. Okay? Cards for you here, Five of Cups, very much going with that same pattern style. The Five of Swords and the Chariot, which is a very true Cancer card. Okay. Yeah. It's like many of you are having difficulty accepting or walking away from that sort of pattern, but it's kind of like you're in this cautious mode where you have it's like you it's almost like you're keeping yourself in this protective bubble of light where you don't really want to allow yourself being too keen to experience how beautiful things can actually be, how well life can become, how fortunate you can become. It's it's almost just a bit of fear that's operating on the side, like a caution, And you may actually call it rational, logic, common sense, past experience. But really, what's sort of happening over there is that it's not so much that you, like, generally when you have the Five of Cups, it'll be like, you're focusing on the past and not seeing opportunities that you currently have. But for you, it's like the opportunities are right there, and the manifestation of it is right there. And it's, in a sense, it's not really that you can miss what's happening in your life at the moment, the beauty unfolding, because it's very much right there. Okay. You can't actually miss it, even if you want to. It's very obvious. And if you actually step out of your life a little bit and you look back in, you will realize, but oh my golly gosh, that things are actually really working out well. The past has sort of eradicated itself, outwards. But it's it's not like you are oblivious to the beauty around you, oblivious to the blessings, oblivious to the manifestation. You're not. You're seeing it, you're feeling it, you're experiencing it, you're grateful for it. But some of you, quite a large part of you, are having difficulty allowing yourself to fully accept that this is kind of where your life is, and this is where your life is going. Because what if it's same as before, it just doesn't last. Okay, so it's like a protective barrier there. And obviously there's always a story about Cancerians kind of drawing themselves inside their shell. But you want to start thinking of the shell almost like an egg, so you're inside the egg. But life, if you do it from the outside, then you can't break it from the outside, because it's going to, destroy the life inside. So it has to be broken up from the inside to the outside, so that the light can come outside, and that light is inside your heart, because it really is who you are. All right. So only you can really set yourself free of this pattern, because with respect, many parts of this pattern where you're finding yourself currently, and that might actually giving you a lot of stress, can't sleep, all emotions, all stuff of it, feeling very unwell. Majority of this is actually in your mind. Okay. So it feels very real. And just because it's only in your mind and it's not really in physicality out there, doesn't make it any less overwhelming sometimes. Okay, it's still there, it's still very present, it's still very prominent. So it's giving you grief. It is giving you grief. Okay, that can't be denied. But in the same sort of token, it is a pattern that is dwindling away very much on its own, really. So this may be good news, maybe it's not good news, but even if you do nothing, it's almost like by default you will merge into this new pattern. It's like, when you get those lights, they used to be quite popular back in the day. They've got like a knob, and then if you turn the knob, the light becomes brighter and brighter and brighter, or more and more dim. So your light is becoming more and more bright, and you're aware of this. And if you just accept the fact that it's doing that, there's nothing that you really need to do. You don't really need to go and turn it brighter yourself, because then you just go overwhelm yourself. You don't need to try and stop the process. There's nothing that you need to do. You're already aware of the process. So if you can accept that is happening, fantastic. If you don't, then and almost like you still, so this is a little bit of a warning that if you kind of keep yourself in that pattern of denial, as the light expands, and obviously the moon is growing at the moment as well, which also means that technically that the light of Cancer is expanding. I suppose that will explain that sort of part of the vision that I would get there. But there's a lot of pain that you can save yourself by just accepting that things are busy unfolding in a beautiful way. Because if you don't, you will try to fight something that's already there. And here's the thing though, if this is where you are and this is where you wanted to go in life, so you sort of put those things out there. I feel a lot of you have been very sort of clear with life about what it is that you want to have, how you'd like your life to unfold and to be. So life said, okay, no problem. Okay, new moon in Taurus, April 22nd, back to basics. Okay, no problem. Boom. Drawing board. Clear slate. Not even turning the page, not tearing that page out of the book. It's like a whole new book. Okay? So this is what you'd like to have, because we are all writing our own experience of life by how we communicate to the universe. Whether we are consciously aware of this or not, whether we accept it or not, doesn't change the fact that it's true. Okay? So then life says, okay, you can have that. And you're merging towards it quite naturally, because there's a strong desire inside your heart. Because inside your soul goes, yay, fireworks, and let's have some glasses of champagne, and, it's rocking, it's rocking, it's rocking. And so that's happening. And you can either accept that it's happening and enjoy the experience. It's like, imagine going on a tour, safari, or whatever, You can either complain about the fact that it's hot, it's cold, it's this, it's that, it's far, it's dusty, yeah. Or you can just enjoy the experience for what it is, okay? Because the experience is happening and it is unfolding, and it's important for you to understand that you are the one that brought yourself to the precipice of this. So with 5 of Swords there, next to 5 of Cups, you can just as well stop fighting. Because it's like you're fighting yourself. It's interesting. It's like fighting sort of like a shadow side of yourself. So it's not really the truth. You're fighting what's happening in any case. Maybe having difficulty aligning and accepting. But even though you go like, don't want this, your heart actually knows that you do. And we can't lie to our hearts. We can't lie to our hearts. It is what it is. So it is in laying down that sort of fights that you might have sometimes that might be giving you stress. So deciding not and choosing not to have them, that moves you into this beautiful energy balanced space there with the Chariot, which is in fact a very strong Cancer related card, because when your divine male and your divine feminine is balanced, so all parts of you, like like sometimes the emotions and the thoughts that go like all over the place, you go like blah, 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 and you get a little bit confused. It's like being a little bit underwater and you can't breathe. But when you can realize that if you do feel underwater, if you can at least in a small way accept it, that if you do kind of feel overwhelmed, underwater, can't cope, that sort of thing, that the person that brought you there is you. And the person that's keeping you there, it's you. And if you brought yourself there and if you're keeping yourself there, then you can also set yourself free from that pattern, which is putting so much strain on you. Okay? The ball is literally in your court. What will you do with it? Okay. Let us clarify. Let us clarify. Let us clarify for Cancer. Let us clarify for Cancer. Beautiful things coming in. I love that card just went flying there. It's like, I am there. 6 of Cups on the Chariot. I am there. Okay, King of Wands on the Cups. It's like these cards are doing their own thing here. Okay, that's not too many cards. What can we get for the Cancers, for the Cancerians, for the Moon babies, the Lunas? Be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. Be patient, Cancer. I know you don't always like it, Cancer, but it's good for you to be patient, Cancer. Alrighty. Let's see. So this is amazing. Okay, so Cancer, the Queen of Pentacles is clarified by the 8 of Cups. All right, so you kind of started, this is not a brand new process. You've started this process quite a while ago already, and you know this is true. When I'm talking about, you know that what I'm saying is true. Okay, so you got you got that sort of thing of what you want your life to be like, and you became quite clear about it. Maybe some of you have gone very much into, maybe just read The Secret, or sort of the law of attraction, but you've gotten, very sort of clear but what it is that you want your life to be. Okay, what it is that like you to have. And I feel that many of you, you weren't necessarily thinking only in terms of money, but more in what you'd like your life to be, like the ideal home, for example. Um, and I can totally relate because I've been there as well, in fact. And so there with the Eight of Cups, you were like, so what is it that I need to walk away from? And this is a very symbolic card, but you can see there with the sort of like, piece of moon and the sort of full moon integrated as one. So what is it that I feel sort of in my current experience of life is not quite what I need it to be? And then you start kind of visualizing what you would like it to be, which is a very powerful way of manifesting because you're beginning to think in the emotions. All right, whatever, white walls, wooden floors, plants, in my case a lot of crystals, a nice space where I could maybe do my readings, that sort of thing where sunlight will shine in, that sort of stuff. My cat can kind of prance around and do his thing. So a lot of you have, by having that vision in your mind of what it is that you want your life to be, you have sort of, without maybe planning to do so, started to detach in an energetic way from that which wasn't in full sort of correlation with your plan, with your heart's desire. You started to separate from there, but because you were thinking in positive senses, the separation itself, the severing of the cords, if you wanted to call it like that. So basically where you are to where you, in relation to where you'd like to be, the moving away from that part where you didn't want to be, it happened in such a beautiful overlapping way that you didn't really have to make enemies. Maybe a lot of you weren't as impulsive and rushed as you would normally be, where you'd maybe just go like, screw this. You wouldn't do that anymore. You would be like, how can I maybe do this better? So because I feel that a lot of you didn't want to create a negative karma, which is great. But I think a lot of times when people speak about karma, they see karma as only a negative thing. I don't want to create karma. The simple logic of life is that we are always creating karma. Always. It is the kind of karma that you're creating that makes all the difference. So by focusing on what you really want your life to be, by default, you sort of created very positive karma. Okay. Right. The Five of Cups is clarified by the King of Wands. Okay. So really it's like every time, again, when you focus on that positive, the more emotionally it started to feel better, even if it's just, I think a lot of you have got into a pattern where you would say to yourself, you know what, if I can't have the life that I dream of having, it's okay, but at least I will have make-believe in my mind. I'm just going to get this cushion out from underneath me. Somehow it's making my back feel funny. That is so much better. Okay, so the more you can just flow with the pattern of what is happening at the moment, the more you can just sort of allow that to just happen and sort of merge and flow without trying to make it anything else. The better you feel, and the better you feel, the faster it happens. So if you want to know what is the best way for you to manifest the life that you want, how's the best way to do it faster, and how do you get into this flow where, remember we're speaking about the light switch, so what is the best way for you to be in the flow and to remain in the flow, or to get in the flow and remain in the flow, is that every time something happens that you feel good about, you go like, right, good, one small step, and the more you are okay with it, the more you go into the space of gratitude. The more you go into the space of gratitude, that naturally leads you into the space of non-resistance. or surrender, what it's also called sometimes. And the more that happens, the more you sort of ease into your life. So that, and I'm not even talking about a long period of time, maybe 3 months from now, you look back on your life and you go like, okay, so what are we now? We're still in April, May, June, July. So, mid-July, end of July, sort of like in that Cancerious sort of period, you look back and you go like, okay, love it, love it, love it. Okay. And it can be an easing process or it can be a very overwhelming process. The bottom line is it's happening. Okay. All right, so the Five of Swords is being clarified with the Hanged Man. That is a powerful message for you right there. So really, as you are not, sort of getting involved and entangled in sort of situations where you had fights that were really, when it boils down to basics, they were just unnecessary. You never needed to have them in the first place. All right. Getting yourself all worked up about things that you probably didn't need to get yourself worked up about. As you are really quite naturally stepping out of that pattern at the moment, it's almost like that light that's inside of your heart that we spoke about in the beginning, that light that's inside of you. It is almost like you don't even have to go and break that egg yourself, because it's almost like the light just kind of shines outwards and it just kind of, and it magically, what you need, it just sort of magically happens for you. The Chariot there is clarified by, I only see now, 2 cards. The Six of Cups and the Justice card was underneath it. I didn't actually see the Justice card, okay? Because it just went flying over there. So, yeah. Many of you have got difficulty with receiving. Life is going to give you beautiful stuff. People's going to want to help you. Resources are going to come out and they actually want to help you. Not because they want something from you. And I feel a lot of you are in that pattern of like, if I accept a sort of help or whatever, what is it that they want from me? Are they trying to take advantage of me? Are they trying to use me? So I feel that many of you are very cautious in accepting help because you're very afraid of almost like a previous non-serving pattern happening again, repeating itself. Those were only lessons. It ain't happening again. That part of life is over. Okay, that's done for you. Going to a whole new era of life. Let's see what are your Yebo. All right. For those of you that are not from South Africa, Yebo is a Y-E-B-O, Yebo. It is it's like a South African sort of slang. It's like, yes, man, Yebo. Okay. Alrighty. So, yeah, transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. Could I have said it better myself? The universe always knows best, eh? A fresh new way of living for you emerges. Look at that. Rising like a phoenix from the ashes and doing so in style. Scholasite. Peace coming your way. Scholasite is such a, I don't have any with me here. It's such a gentle sort of crystal, You almost want to be sort of gentle with it. And it's got this incredible, I call it smile energy. The collective conscious that I channel being called smile. But it's such a delight, especially when you are, sensitive to energy, or maybe you work with like a baby, for example, like crystal healing or something like that, or maybe like Reiki or distance Reiki, whatever, if it's a very gentle sort of situation, or maybe you're dealing with some substance abuse. And when I say substance abuse, it can be about anything. It can be drugs, alcohol, smoking, eating, watching too much television, video games, gossip, Scosalite's a beautiful energy that if you want to try and get rid of things that you feel are not serving you in a positive way, open yourself to the energy of Scosalite, all right? Because even if you don't have the physical crystal with you, it's almost like when you work with the angelic realm. So you can say, open myself to that energy to come in and to assist me in my experience of life. So that energy then kind of comes in and brings about the solution and the peace that you desire within. Okay. Follow the leader. And that card was flipping the other way around for me, but it's really a reminder for you that in this path of life we often look for solutions from many outside sources or from many sources just because they're wise, they've been there for us before, they really know what they are talking about, but the answers that we are seeking is all within our heart. I feel that you have if you are looking at this video, I really feel that you have gone through quite a difficult period in life, but somehow you knew that you are merging towards something greater, aspiring to not just a pie in the sky. You knew that there was something more in life for you than where you currently are. And even in your deepest, darkest moments, when you felt that you don't know if you can survive and make it through a day, you knew that there was something more to life for you. You just knew it. Okay? And so you are now you are finally ready to follow the direction of your heart. I always say when you listen to your heart, it will whisper to you, as it always does, the GPS coordinates for you, for your path in life. Because the coordinates for everybody is different. And when you get to the point where you are ready to hear the message that is eternally being whispered to us, if we can reach that silence within, West Coast will take us within that peace. When you can reach that silence within, you can hear, and then the path forward is obvious for you, and you are moving towards that. Okay? Beautifully merging towards that. Many reasons to celebrate coming up there for you, Cancer. And a reminder that you've got time, that you might, sometimes we feel that there's no more time in life, that, that I'm too old, that I'm too this, I'm too invested in this, I'm too whatever. And you feel that the desires of your heart can't come true anymore. Almost like you sort of missed your train. And so, but you haven't. Even if you could, and this is the thing, let me make an example for you with life in missing your train. So, say, for example, the train leaves at 10:30 and you get here and it's 10:45. So you feel that you've missed the opportunities in life, that you missed your blessings in life, and you can't get it. You kind of missed that opportunity. By the divine intervention that forever takes care of us, even though the train is scheduled for 10:30 and you get there at 10:45, lo and behold, at 10:50, there comes the train, because you are right on time. Life merged for the way that you need it. And let's see what it says at the back. Ever wonder what would make life's fleeting pain and sorrow totally and unquestionably worth it? How about living forever, wildly in love and loved wildly? And then it says you have so much to look forward to. The universe. You've got so much to look forward to. Okay. So Cancer, thank you so much. So much appreciated. General guidance reading. Take whatever resonates with you, whatever doesn't resonate with you. It's always released with peace and love, and let it go. If it resonates with you, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I always welcome your comments. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to have personal detailed reading, it is $12. That's a 30-minute reading, and it's sent to you via a downloadable video. Thank you so much. Right. So that was the lunar children. So that was, I just want to make sure, Cancer. So Scorpio is next. Hello, Scorpio. Adrian H. Nelson here for Asian Great Life. Welcome to your reading. Let's see what we got for you. As always, you take in your heart what's for you and what's not for you. Release it with peace and let it go. Queen of Cups. Emotional problems. I don't know why that would come up right away for me, because Queen of Cups generally has a sort of different meaning, but I got it right away. Emotional problems, feeling that your needs are not being fulfilled, feeling disrespected. What's happening here, Scorpio? Now also remember that even if you, I always say to people, if you don't like the way your reading is going, excellent, wonderful, great, and fantastic. Because remember, if you don't like the way your energy is going, you can always change it. All right, let's have some sprayer, some air cleansing, Palo Santo, rosemary, and what is this? Citrine crystal. For the greatest good of all. There's some for you, Scorpio. For your greatest good. All right. So I feel like many of you are feeling that you're not really getting your life's desires. You're tired. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, the reading that I did for you last week, Scorpio, was kind of really looking more like towards the upside. So what's going on? What has been happening? It's like I get this heaviness inside my heart. Like it's like you're generally just feeling down. Let's transmute that energy. Let's take in a nice deep breath. As you breathe out, expand a white cocoon of light around you, a light of protection around you, Scorpio. And see this light as a filter where it can let in positive and release that which doesn't serve you in a positive way. Okay. And if it's safe for you, I want you to do this with me. Okay. Even if you don't feel that way, so if it does hit you later, then you're prepared. Because I need to fix this energy in order to do your reading. Okay. Much better, much lighter. And when I say that I need to fix your energy, I'm of course talking about working with my spiritual team so much lighter. Scorps. I was getting that to you a little bit, right? Don't you worry, we're there for one another. We all stand together. Boom, boom. Okay. Things will get better soon, don't you worry. Okay, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this, Corpse. There is a reason for this. So cards that you are getting is Justice. So only you can fix this. Strength and the Knight of Cups. So the road forward for you, Scorpio, it might not be so easy, fascinating, because I feel that many of you, it's like you sort of given up on your dream in life. It's like you felt that it's going to happen. You were all in high spirits. Sorry, and you really went to that space where you felt like it's never going to happen for me. It's like Robinson Crusoe being there, on the island. And for those of you that don't know Robinson Crusoe, it's like the story of, I think it was an Englishman, if I remember correctly, that somehow got shipwrecked on an island and lived there for a couple of years and learned to survive. So, and after a while, just assumed, accepted it's going to be there forever. And so I feel that for some of you, it's like a heaviness was, kind of starting to enter your energy field, and then you just accepted it. This is how my life is always going to be. And so whilst you could actually be okay with that for a while, you sort of started to feel like a failure, a number of you, that it's not going to happen. And it really hit you very heavy in your heart, sort of feeling like an ongoing sort of victim, okay? But, of course, even especially with the new moon, or whatever time you're looking at this will be the right time for you to see, but especially with the full moon, sorry, I said new moon, the full moon there, in Scorpio, it's a powerful time for you. And something that a lot of people seem to misunderstand sometimes is that unless you've got a sun sign Cancer, and even then, not depending on what happens in the rest of your chart, or if you've got a very strong, Cancer or like a moon in your chart, then if not, then sometimes, things like a full moon, depending on what's happening in the other planets, could sort of be a little overwhelming. All right, it can become overwhelming. A lot to deal with, and this might not even be you, but it might be the people around you, the people that are in your space, the people that are texting you, the people that you're having a relationship with. It's all could become a little bit much, and I felt a lot of you were like first feeling like I can't take this, it's too much for me, and then realizing that you don't have to and you didn't actually want to. Okay, and that's where you step back into your power, and you realize that I need a little work here. I needed some work here, some inner work that still needs to be done. And whilst initially, or when somebody looks from the outside, they may look at you and you go like, oh my goodness, you are so strong, look at what you're doing, what you're able to do. But for you, it doesn't feel all that much. So even though you are sort of going in that very sort of deep purging, to you, it doesn't feel all that overwhelming, Scorpio, because you know that this needs to be done for you to get from where you are to where you want to be. Okay. Beautiful. You've got like some inner sort of intelligence guidance that is leading there. A lot of you are listening to your heart, and because it's like nothing else is sort of working out. All right. And that Knight of Cups, sexy all the way. It's bringing you into it's like life is it's like many of you have started to or are beginning to go into this space where you realize that you are the one who's holding yourself back. Okay, and you are realizing that you are holding yourself back by sort of what's not really real. Okay, phantoms, outdated beliefs, patterns, childhood traumas. So you're kind of going inside and doing that oh so important inner child healing. All right, letting go of what doesn't serve you positively. You're like, I'm fed up of this, and I feel that a lot of you are sort of doing this inner work and saying, even if it doesn't go anywhere, at least I've done it. So the unfolding of life hits you almost a bit like a surprise, but it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, this is like seeing a sunrise for the first time. Wow. So, Scorpio Scorps, look at this. The Queen of Cups is, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. The Queen of Cups is clarified by the King of Cups. This is so beautiful. Okay? I don't want you to take no offense because I mean no offense, Scorpio. But, a very typical sort of Scorpio trait could sometimes be getting yourself in a complete spin in this world over something that it's not really real. All right? And for many of you, you are beginning to, you really making that connection between this is what I want, this is what I don't have, so this is what I need to do. Okay? So you're moving away from that space where you may have felt like a victim. You're very much moving away from that poor me sort of space. All right? There's for many, this is beautiful. Okay? This is beautiful because, and a very typical sort of Scorpio trait sometimes can be that you can get yourself drained of energy in a sense over something that you make up in your mind. And again, as I'm saying, please don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is this is not an insult. This is a beautiful reason to celebrate. You are you are seeing clearly, many of you, clearly what are the things, the patterns within yourself, the beliefs within yourself, the things you say, the things you do, the way that you act. You are realizing that a lot of things you've been doing up to this point, you've been creating a lot of your own misery. You're getting it, all right? And you're also getting that you can get yourself out of it. So you're not going to a space of like, oh my goodness, I create this, and now you feel like the biggest loser in the world. No. Wow. A lot of you are seeing a lot of the what do you call this now, like missed opportunities that you experience in this life when things didn't work out, repeated patterns, people that dropped you, let you down, cut you out of their life, repeating whatever accidents, incidents, all those type of things. Almost like for a period there, a lot of you might have felt that life was really against you, that God must have it in for you in a very special, spiteful sort of way. And it was really limiting the beautiful experience of life that you can have, because you are so beautiful. And it's like a lot of people didn't see, not a lot of, but yeah, like quite a chunk of people didn't see the beauty of who you are and what you are, because you were living in these smoke screens and trying to live up to expectations that you felt that others had of you, and most likely never did. You are beginning to see that you were your own biggest weakness, and you are realizing that it's time to move past that. Boom. Okay, now, so with all that realization, justice is clarified by the Tower. All right. So many of you might find yourself, especially for the next couple of days, maybe, especially till the full moon, in periods where life is funky in not a cool jazz kind of way. All right. Remember, the full moon is all about your greatest potential. And especially when the full moon is in your house, Scorpio, it's when you can benefit optimally, because that manifestation power is at its strongest. So life is preparing you for something so new that you can't even wrap your mind around it. Okay? It's when you have a dream for your life, this is 10 billion times more than that. It's amazing. Okay? But it takes a full out clean. It's almost like a full blown out fumigation that's taking place at the moment. And it can feel harrowing, but if you stick in there, Scorpio, my Scorpios, if you stick in there, many of these things that might have, I feel a lot of you are kind of saying like, I'm fed up of this. I've had this experience all my life. I really feel that I can't take it anymore. It's coming to an end. Okay? It's coming to an end. Lovely. Okay. The Strength card is clarified by the Nine of Pentacles. I love this. Many of you are beginning to see that it's not too late for you. You're beginning to see that you haven't missed that train. Okay? You're beginning to see that I can't remember now if I made the analogy with the train for you or for Cancer that I did just before you. But what I was saying, and if I said it already, I do apologize. But a reminder sometimes good, that imagine the train is scheduled to leave the station at 10:30 and you're meant to get on that train. Okay? But for whatever reason in life, you rock up at the station at 10:45 and you go like, oh my goodness, missed it. But because life is, I think it was for Cancer, but because life is so beautifully, divinely looking after you and taking care of you, and remember, time is a means to an end. Time itself is a means to an end. It doesn't exist. Time is like putting salt on your food. Only you can determine how much is enough. It's a personal thing. It's like a cup of coffee. Only you decide what a perfect cup of coffee is. And if you change your idea about a perfect cup of coffee or how much salt you want to put on your food, you get to make their choice. You know, when somebody speaks about a chili dog, for example, and how much chili you want to put on there, you decide what is the perfect amount of it. All right. It's the same thing with time. We are not a victim of anything. So with the train thing, so you get at 10:45, you think to yourself, oh my goodness, missed my opportunity. Lo and behold, 10:50, train rocks up. Okay, coming to this into the station, looking all sexy and all steamy, like. You know when you watch those programs and they've got those really beautiful trains in like Europe, and they even sound enticing. But I love that so much. It's like you're beginning to see the sunlight was always there. You just needed to open the shutters, and you are opening those shutters now. All right, the Knight of Cups is clarified by the Death card. New beginnings. Death is new beginnings. I think I want to explain this to you just in case, you know, the way that I have death for me in what I do in my readings. So there is a whole process of life that is happening. Okay? Earth is the soul having a human being experience on Earth is a very, very, very important, but a very small part of a very, very large, huge, gigantic picture, okay, that's going on. There is a time to enter the picture, when then at another place you might be seen as you kind of dying there, leaving there, okay, moving through life, when it's time for you to move through the space onto the next part of your journey that Earth prepared you for. Or maybe you took a little pit stop here, all right, took a little break, or came to help somebody else. We come to Earth for many reasons, okay? Could be to work of karma, to be of service, to help a friend. You know, we are all soul family working together. But it's all important that even if you just came here to have fun, maybe the soul family around you, your friends, your family, the place that you incarnated into, maybe they are incredibly serious people, and they've got all these high professions, they're doctors and they're lawyers, and you're an artist, and they in ways you may feel a bit like the failure because you're not the one that's doing all those high intellectual whatever IT sort of stuff. But maybe your role for coming to Earth was to keep those people from becoming so serious in life that they forget that life is a temporary journey, that it's a blessing. When you're done with it, then you pass along on your journey again, and you do what we on Earth call death, dying, passing, new beginnings. So I don't feel a physical passing possible, but this is, and here's the thing to remember though, every physical passing in this world, whether it's you, whether it's someone that you know, that you are, related to, vagrates or whatever, it is always there's a lot of light to be found within that moment, and also quite a strong reminder. I remember when I used to be much younger, long before I knew any of this terminologies and stuff. And I grew up in the country, and there it was kind of like before I started to not want to go to funerals because it would confuse me. But when I used to go, and I mean, I'm talking about like 8 years old, you know. I was always like this little, very old, serious little man. But I would have this thing as I see the coffin sort of, you know, go into the ground, having this understanding within myself and this gratitude, and I would say to the soul, because it was always like I could always not see more than others. I believe we can all see everything, but just being more aware of the fact that I can see. And I would say to the soul, you know, thank you for rocking up. Thank you for the life. Thank you for the time. Like, almost like the same way you go and say goodbye to somebody, you know, at the airport or at the harbor with the ship, or, you know, somebody comes to your house and they visited you and now they're driving off and you staying behind. You're like, you know, thank you for coming to visit. And it's a little sad because now you got used to each other, you know. I mean, you can think of sort of any time in your life that maybe a colleague got another job, you know, whatever it may be. Somebody moved forward in a grade, or, you know, you stayed in primary school and they went to high school or whatever. You were happy for them to move forward in life, but it was also kind of sad. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Because you spend some time together, so you wish them the best, but it's a little sad. And so for the longest period, a lot of you have kind of been almost saying goodbye to many parts in life, and now it's time to say hello. Okay? Is it me you're waiting for? Yes. Time for a love fest. Okay. It says actually everyone is reasonable. They just have their own reasons. And usually it's worth trying to learn what they are to maximize chances of a full-blown 60s style psychedelic love fest, which is always a good thing. Groovy you, the universe. All right. There we go. Osho card, experiencing. So many of you are feeling a lot of sadness within yourself, experiencing a lot of, not so much sadness, more a sort of, I'm feeling the feeling so I can explain it to you. No, a sad sort of nostalgia, all right? Like a time to say goodbye type of vibe. And you know it needs to be done, but you don't know if you feel quite strongly enough. So many of you might be feeling quite a lot of sadness there within yourself, because it is sort of like you're leaving a part of yourself behind. So instead of being like in my case, the child sort of sitting there at the graveyard and getting all the stuff that's happening around me, you sort of the one that's leaving, you know, in the coffin, leaving the part behind it. It's like this part was done and it's now time to move on, and you understand the logic behind it, but inside it's a little emotional. Okay. 27 home. You understand that it needs to be done. It's time to move on. Stipnight, there with conflict, inner conflict usually. Okay. So call on that energy of Stipnight to help support you to ease through things. And ending of there for you with vast vistas. Expand your horizons. Okay. It's time for you to move on to a, sorry, oh my goodness. Sorry. To a more joyous sort of experience of life. I get San Francisco. I don't know what that means. And it's like they're saying, just tell them that, they'll be able to figure it out for themselves. San Francisco. Lollipops, cool drinks, beach. Childhood memories is like I see little boats. Apparently you'll know exactly what it means. That's what they're saying. Okay. And all's going to be fine. This is a bit of a difficult period for you, Scorpio, but okay, they say let them figure it for themselves. But you're going to be fine, okay? Going to be fine. Lovely. All right, Scorps, thank you so much. If you you're more than welcome to leave me comments there, give me some feedback. I didn't quite understand all of that reading, but then sometimes I actually don't, because it's obviously not for me. You know, sometimes I get a reading for a client and I'm like, it's making no sense. And I just send it and they come back and they're like, oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. It's like, okay, lovely. So if you want to have a personal detailed reading, it's $12. I sent you a 30-minute reading. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if it resonates with you. I got some guidance here for you every week. Peace, love and light. Okay. Pisces, hi. Okay. All right, Pisces, so you're starting off with the Hierophant. Very powerful. It's, oh, wow. It's emotional ability all over the place. Psychic confusion clearing, moving into who you are. It's almost like I see keys sort of fitting into slots, opening, gates opening for you. This seems very good. A lot of white sort of light. So it's like you are moving into something really, really spiritual, beautiful, perfect, and fantastic for you. Almost customized for you. I like this feeling. I love this feeling. Going into something so good for you. On your soul plan, on your life plan, on your mission, on your path. Really working out well. Lots of support. I love it. So you might not be 100% certain where you're heading, but you know that it's good. It's like you don't have all the answers at this current point in time, but you know that it's good. All right. Wow. Cards for you. Two of Swords, Temperance, the Fool. Wow. This is one legitimate wow. I'm literally blown away. The Hierophant, the Two of Swords, the Fool, and Temperance. Wow. Wow. If you ever wanted to hear a reading from me, you're going to want to hear this one. And I'm going to want to do this one because I want to see where this is going. I need to know. I'm going to pull clarifiers right away. I want to know. Right. So, Hierophant with the with the Four of Pentacles. Okay. So I feel that for a number of you, you have spent quite a significant length of time establishing exactly what it is that you want from life. It's taken you quite a long and a hard road to get there. I feel a lot of pain and still the memory of a lot of pain, and some of it kind of old, but a lot of it, you know, most of it probably even very recent, or like it's like a lot of you did very deep inner sort of purging work, letting go, clearing. And that was a hard process. It was a difficult process for many of you to get through these difficult periods. It wasn't easy, but my goodness, was it worth it. And I feel that even, it's such a sense of excitement. I feel almost like a child, like, you know, it's so fast that it's almost like, because a lot of times I will get words in my mind, but it's almost like it's too fast. I can't hear it. So it's like I can see it, but it's so much over each other, but it's so bright and it's so beautiful. And there's such multiple sort of manifestation unfolding that it is just, it's amazing. This is mind-blowing. Okay? This is mind-blowing. Wow. where a lot of other signs might be moving into your greatest potential. I feel that you, in a sense, you almost sort of past that you're going into that almost sort of like, I don't know, Peter Pan sort of fairy tale world where, and it's not really about others, because I'm questioning in my mind, so what about others? Well, and it's like you're not even so aware of others, because life has finally become centered around you. It's like you found the magic key in life, how to not just manifest powerfully, but how to stay in the flow of that positive manifestation. This is gorgeous. Let's spray some air cleansing spray. Whatever is still might still be holding you back there, to clear that out. But I feel that even whatever's lurking in the shadows, that it doesn't need to be brought to the light, because you are so sort of psychically on point. Whether you have been a person that's kind of been into psychic stuff before or not, or been of a spiritual nature or not, it's kind of like you suddenly just find yourself just knowing things, knowing what's the right decision to move, where to move first. It's like this natural sort of magical feng shui that you got in your mind, that you know what the next step is that you need to do and that you need to take without needing to be told what it is. Wow. This is like a Midas touch. This is incredible. Let's see what else we got. Hold on. So whenever you look at this reading, I'm just going to tell you this because this is what I'm getting, so this is what I'm going to tell you. Tomorrow, over the space of the next 2 days, something incredible is going to happen in your life. So tomorrow, something incredible is going to happen in your life, and over the period of 2 days, it's going to unfold into so much more magic than you could ever imagine. And so it is. Okay, moving on. Two of Swords is clarified by the Seven of Cups. So where a lot of times before you might not have known what to do, you might have been boomeranged, so you wanted to make the best decisions. You wanted to maybe in the past, serve all best. And sometimes it might have, caused a bit of emotional strain there for you because you didn't really quite know what was the best choice to make, even though you wanted to do it, even though you wanted to, take and serve the highest serving sort of solution, or, you didn't quite know what it was. So you had the good intentions, but not always the know-how in how to sort of get it done. All right? But you're at this point where you can see the BS for the BS. All right? It's like nobody can really lie to you. People could play on your emotions quite a lot in the past. And maybe kind of get you to do stuff that when you kind of did it afterwards, you go like, oh my goodness, you're so regretful. You can't believe that you fell for this again. You can't believe that they would do this to you. You can't believe that somebody would maybe, I don't know, sort of take advantage of you, of your good heart, of your good intentions. But you have matured out of that situation. So now you are beginning to make choices from sort of, it's like all those mistakes that you have made have built up for you a very powerful bank of knowledge, know-how, life experience. And whether you are 65 years old and looking at this, or whether you are 18 years old, it doesn't really matter. It is that you know what is the next natural sort of step that you need to take. So many times before, where you might have experienced the need to consult others, where you might have been doubting yourself a little bit, tripping all over the place, Pisces, not knowing what to do, you've got such a clear understanding now of who's on your side and who's not on your side. On my side, great. Not on my side, whatever. You know, there's peace, there's love, there's no attachments, there is no I don't really feel that you would have, held so much grudges before, but in the same token, there was still the reminder of the pain, not wanting to go back to that period before where it's like many of you, I felt that like almost like this nervous sort of tension that you didn't want to make the same sort of mistakes again. You didn't want to get to that dark place again. You didn't want to be used and abused and all those type of things again. So you kind of had yourself running in your mind a whole lot of circles, getting headaches, getting nervous tensions, getting all sort of, whatever pimple breakouts all over the place. Very overwhelming things. I mean, it's almost like eating and like the food need to almost, in a sense, being nauseous, need to exit your body again, because it's like you had so much you couldn't keep even the food in, that you have learned your lessons from there, and you brought yourself to a place where you said to yourself, you know what, Buttercup, you need to calm down. Started to look at things as lessons. What can I learn from this experience? It's like you mastered the emotions, and now that you've mastered the emotions, even if you burst out crying in the middle of the streets, it's fine, because it's expressing emotions without breaking down. Huh? I read something about Pisces a couple of months ago, I think it was, in a book about astrology, and it said that Pisces is one of those signs that can walk in the one side of the mall and they're completely laughing, and then they walk on the other side of the mall and they're crippled with emotion, or crying and sobbing, and because they can absorb other people's emotions. What I find is that for many of you, you move into that space where you can still have those emotions, but you understand yourself so much better. And what might have almost, might have kind of made you feel weak and crippled before, is now your strength, because whatever you mastered in this world is what serves you optimally and positively. So I feel that many of you are now, you've got that sort of protective bubble of light around you sort of all the time, where a lot of us sometimes have to go and place that light around us. You sort of have that around you now. And it's so amazing. It's almost like your energy is naturally protected from anything. Like MC Hammer, back in the days, like, doom, 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 can't touch us, doom, boom, 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 can't touch us, or can't touch us, Wow. That is really amazing. That is really, really something, eh? Your biggest crutch, in a sense, has become your greatest, your biggest strength now. From weakness, you have grown so much strength. So you were actually, for many of you from birth, but for the longest period of time, maybe, you were kind of like in the school that was getting you ready for this moment. Yep, fish swimming in all different directions. Maybe that's why they have fish swimming in different directions. Whichever way it goes, Can't fool this. Got this. All right. Got this. The Fool, which is a card all about new beginnings, is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. Your heart's desires and dreams are coming true. So, Pisceans. Don't you just like that? I like that word, Pisceans. It sounds so kind of like old English, Oxford proper. So, Pisceans, you are on a new path. Such beautiful. It's almost like you're starting everything from over again. Okay? I don't know if you if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can go look at the reading that I did for Scorpio, especially in the last part. In that last part, I explained that sometimes if you take, like when you have to say goodbye and you're standing on this side and you have to say goodbye, it can be sort of sad and overwhelming and making you feel like bereft and empty, because a person won't physically be there in the space anymore. You know, maybe your cousins came to visit or your friends or whatever, you know, and now they're leaving. Could be the end of a relationship, but somehow it's like, you know, they're leaving. It's sad inside, because even though their person might be going wherever, you would prefer them inside your space. You know, you can always call and video call and whatever and write. If you, like me and you're very old school, you write letters or postcards, which I love to do. Told you I'm old school. You would prefer to have them in your space. You know, you can play together, walk together, have a cup of tea, whatever, laugh, touch each other, all that sort of stuff. Now, I feel that for many of you, it's sort of like you are the person that's leaving from the space. So you might be feeling a little bit of emotion, you know, inside as well. But yours is a little bit more contrived, because you are the person who's moving into something different, into something new, you know? So say, for example, you're moving from where you are in your town, and, you know, you got a promotion, and so you're moving to a new town. And it's a little sad because you're leaving your friends behind, and all those sort of things. But instead of you being the person who's saying goodbye on this side, that those are the one that is leaving, you are the one that, even though you might be having a little bit of, you know, detaching anxiety, you're the one that chose to leave. And you knew why you chose to leave, because you knew that's a better option for you. So you've got that sort of excitement. And for you, I really feel, Pisces, that you're on this new sort of journey where it might be a little bit nerve-wracking, you know, kind of like throwing emotions a little bit all over the place. But there's also a deep sense of excitement. Okay? As I said in the beginning of your reading, you're moving into something very new. You don't have all the details, but it's good. There's reason to be excited. There's reason to be positive. Gain, materialistic gain, social gain, status may be upping. Lots of positive things happening around here for you. Okay? And you're ready for it. You've been prepared for this moment. You've been prepared for it all your life. So even when it felt like things were not going right for you, that was just you being prepared. It's like the sculptor that takes the piece of marble and he does all the, like, you know, grinding and stuff and chipping and whatever. But it's to unveil this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sort of statue. And your statue is being unveiled. You are really in the space of your great unveiling. This new moon is going to rock. Okay. And wow, these two cards. Temperance, one of the most powerful positive cards in the tarot deck, clarified by the High Priestess, the highest card. All right. You are you. It's like many of you have been searching for you for a very long period of time. And now you found that person. Isn't that nice? Wow. Wow. Makes my heart so happy. Okay. Let's draw one more card for you, Pisceans, for that High Priestess card. What is this high message coming out here? We're going to draw 3 cards for you. What is this high message coming out here for you? Page of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Lovers. Boom. Ideas sparking, in balance, because the Chariot's a Cancer card, but also new moon, wherever the full moon is, the moon is still, you know, as we say in astrology, the planet, even though the moon's not technically a planet, but anyway, it's a moon, as there are many moons, not the point, it's still running Cancer. And when a Cancer is got the energy in balance, the divine male and divine feminine, they are like magic. So, desires of your heart, putting it out there. What is it that you want your life to be? Start small if you want to. Put this test out there. Put this test out there, Pisces. Do this for yourself now, because you're in that energy now. Okay? Remember, tomorrow something nice is going to happen for you. It can unfold over 2 days. What is it that you'd like to have? And if you want to manifest something nice in your life, I know when you start with manifestation, they always say, why not manifest yourself a cup of coffee? Why not manifest more than just a cup of coffee? Because your energy is there. You can have anything you want, even though it might seem impossible there with the Lovers. Okay? Whatever. Gemini energy also there. Right, let's see what we've got for you. Start where, these are your oracle cards, start where you are. Something really important that I explained, and I'm going to put the link down below for another reading that I did Saturday, just for everyone, because I felt a lot of people had some questions. Where am I going next? Where am I going next? Where am I going next? Okay? A lot of times we feel that we have to go out there to get what we want. But remember, life consists of energy. You are energy. Everything is energy. So it's by changing the vibrational point or the attraction point that you are that you bring everything to you. I know that as humans we are growing, we're expanding fast, by the way. Learning a lot about manifestation, and so many of us are opening to the idea, which is amazing, because the more we wake up to this, the more the global consciousness collective, get this as we move from 3D to 5D. But I'm just confusing 4D space at the moment. But you don't have to go out there to get what you want. You can come right to you. Okay? Start where you are. It says, the great thing about feeling deep, profound, earth-shaking love is that you can start with anyone, and I will add to that, wherever you are. Exactly where you are. Because love is inside. Love is not something you can find outside. You can find things to love. You can find things that can remind you of the love that you have within yourself. And it says, next, the universe. But when you look at something that, when you see something in this world that really makes your heart kind of sing like a symphony orchestra, all it does is remind you or unlock within you what's already there, because you are the ones that's feeling that emotions. So you can say, oh, the orchestra had me feeling emotions. But those emotions were always inside of you. They didn't create it. They only unlocked it. Okay? Energy. So the same way that the orchestra can make you feel that way, the same way when you light up your light, you can light up other people's life. Okay? When you are enlightened, then of course, Pisces, you come so honestly from your emotions. You remind people, others, of the beauty that they are and have always been. Patience. You see, it's coming. Isn't this a beautiful card? It's happening. It's taking some time. And, of course, anybody who has ever, been pregnant, or in my case, seen people be pregnant, and at some point I worked at a hospital, so, having witnessed birth, it might seem like the worst part of the experience, but it is, of course, that last haul. It's happening. Wide open. It's happening. It's coming. It's flowing. You are such a strong magnet for positive energy right now. Agate, body health. Right? focusing on the root chakra if you have to, if you feel a little bit unstable at the moment, everywhere. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. Again, previously with the agate there with the bodily health. Remember that you are a soul having a human being experience here on planet Earth. Open your heart to that fully, and it will open its heart to you fully. Okay. Perfect, Pisceans. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, your love and your light. If you want to follow me on Facebook or Instagram, do so. I go live there from time to time, putting up, I go live on Facebook even more, putting up like daily motivational videos, on Instagram as much as I can. Personal detailed reading, $12 for 30-minute reading, downloadable video. And if it resonates with your heart, then you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I bring out weekly readings. Hit the notification bell. Peace, love, and light.